Purple dingbat.
Purple dingbat.
Purple dingbat.
Purple dingbat.
Purple dingbat.
You've probably heard of cherry picking. Cherry picking is just one of the manipulation techniques that political campaigns use to sell their product, the candidate, and to tear down the competition. Purple Dingbats is an ongoing project to share these techniques with the American voter.
PD number 3, Won't You Be My Neighbor? How Politicians Use Community to Create Trust.
We're going to stick with him all the way to the end. He used to come over just to help us out. It's our turn to help him without any doubt. So vote for Hubert. Hubert Humphrey, the president for you and me.
Hubert Humphrey didn't win his 1960 primary bid against John Kennedy, perhaps because his TV advertisements made it too obvious that he was trying to tap into the reciprocity reflex that comes along with neighborliness.
Dwight D. Eisenhower was more successful.
Eisenhower answers America.
You know what things cost today. High prices are just driving me crazy.
Yes, my Mamie gets after me about the high cost of living. It's another reason why I say it's time for a change. Time to get back to an honest dollar and an honest dollar's worth.
It was Eisenhower's running mate, however, Richard Nixon, who gave the speech, really more of a chat, that is still lauded in media research textbooks. Years before Watergate, he was accused of misappropriating campaign funds.
I should say this, that Pat doesn't have a mink coat, but she does have a respectable Republican cloth coat. And I always tell her that she'd look good in anything. One other thing I probably should tell you, because if I don't, they'll probably be saying this about me too. We did get something, a gift, after the election. A man down in Texas heard Pat on the radio mention the fact that our two youngsters would like to have a dog. And believe it or not, the day before we left on this campaign trip, we got a message from the Union Station in Baltimore saying they had a package for us. We went down to get it. You know what it was? It was a little Cocker Spaniel dog in a crate that he'd sent all the way from Texas. Black and white, spotted. And our little girl, Tricia, the 6-year-old, named it Checkers. And you know, the kids, like all kids, love the dog. And I just want to say this right now, that regardless of what they say about it, we're going to keep him.
The Eisenhower-Nixon ticket won the 1952 election in a landslide. 40 years later, Bill Clinton defeated a sitting president, perhaps because his economic plan was more compelling, perhaps because he walked into the audience.
But I think in terms of the recession, of course you feel it when you're president of the United States. And that's why I'm trying to do something about it by stimulating the export, investing more, better education systems. Thank you. I'm glad to clarify.
Tell me how it's affected you again. You know people who've lost their jobs and lost their homes? Well, I've been governor of a small state for 12 years. I'll tell you how it's affected me. Every year, Congress and the president sign laws that make us do more things and gives us less money to do it with. I see people in my state, middle-class people, their taxes have gone up in Washington and their services have gone down, while the wealthy have gotten tax cuts. I have seen what's happened in this last 4 years when, in my state, when people lose their jobs, there's a good chance I'll know them by their names. When a factory closes, I know the people who ran it. When the businesses go bankrupt, I know them. And I've been out here for 13 months, meeting in meetings just like this ever since October, with people like you all over America, people that have lost their jobs, lost their livelihood, lost their health insurance. What I want you to understand is the national debt is not the only cause of that. It is because America has not invested in its people. It is because we have not grown. It is because we've had 12 years of trickle-down economics. We've gone from 1st to 12th in the world in wages. We've had 4 years where we produced no private sector jobs. Most people are working harder for less money than they were making 10 years ago. It is because we are in the grip of a failed economic theory. And this...
In 2008, Barack Obama broke away from the limitations of TV spots and debate stages and into the longer and more personal form of the YouTube video. He walked into a barbershop.
At the barbershop, you can just be yourself. Yeah, we talk politics, religion, we talk everything. You know, I said we talk everything across the board, we talk.
How you doing, President?
I'm doing good, man.
Man, check out those shoes, too. Check them out.
You got some, what's that? You got some alligator?
It's something.
You got some, I wore those shoes, I'd win in a hot second.
During his terms in office, he kept it up, taking time out of his busy schedule to break bread with his constituents.
Hello, everybody.
Nice to meet you, Mr. President. Good luck with it.
Bill.
When the president walked in, everybody just shot up out of their seats, and everybody was all smiles.
So you must be the firefighter.
Yes, I am, sir.
Good to see you.
Hi, Mr. President. I'm Kathy.
Good to see you, Kathy.
All right. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of fun doing this because usually I'm having lunch and I'm reading some briefing book, meeting with my staff. To actually have lunch outside with some real folks is a big treat for me.
You might notice he talked to different constituents in different ways. Linguists call this code switching.
And it was so that when those Ephraimites which were escaped said, "Let me go over," that the men of Gilead said unto him, "Art thou an Ephraimite?" If he said, "Nay," then said they unto him, "Say now Shibboleth." And he said Sibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. King James Bible, Judges chapter 12, verses 5 and 6.
I mean, it's like he knew you. It's like he was your neighbor or your cousin that came over.
We trust people who are like us, people who have the same struggles, the same backgrounds, and the same accent. We trust our neighbors.
Don't you just want to walk over and borrow a cup of sugar?
In this video, we talked about reciprocity, code switching, and community sense, what advertising psychology calls Gemeinschaft. In the next video, we'll talk about fake news.